going on behind the scenes. But we're here now. I'm talking into the black microphone, and hopefully this will work. All right, from Deprogram to Demonize, are you ready to get on the train? We've got a Brownell's bullet points for you guys today, and of course, a student of the gun homeroom, as always, and then a few other tidbits to share with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and stand by for Student of the Gun Radio.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, please welcome your host, the Pimp Hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right. Now's probably a good time to put my phone on airplane mode so that I don't get a phone call in the middle of the show. Not that that's ever happened before. That only happens when I forget to put my phone on airplane mode. All right, we're going to do a Q&A. If you guys have any Qs, throw them in there, and we'll try and give you some As. So this weekend was the third Patriot Fire Team Leadership Seminar. Had a fantastic group of students, came in from Arkansas and Missouri and Indiana. Yes, people drove from far, far away to get here to be a part of the class. So if you're closer than they are and you're making excuses like, oh, it's too far. Okay, well, there you go. Take your excuses and put them on the shelf. And then when you need them, when there's an emergency, when there's a crisis, you can go to the shelf, open it, and you can grab your excuses and run forward and face the dragon. There you go. But no, it was actually Jared, you've gone to enough training and enough repeat training to understand that not every class is identical, right?
Yeah.
It's the same class.
For sure, yeah.
Quite often when I'm doing these classes, if someone has a question or concern or whatever, I'll call an audible and I'll just throw in something. And one of the audibles that we threw in this weekend was black powder muzzleloading rifles. And it turned out that Justin, Jared, you know that stainless, and you probably don't know it because I don't think you ever shot it. But I have a Traditions inline muzzleloader that uses 209 primers, and it's stainless with camouflage stocks. Anyway, Justin said, he goes like, oh, I bought a muzzleloader from my cousin or brother-in-law or something. He said, but I've never even shot it yet. I'm like, okay. So on Sunday, I gave him a real quick down and dirty muzzleloading 101 class, and I pulled that one out, and just like that's the exact muzzleloader that I bought from my cousin, brother-in-law, whatever.
Oh, that's funny.
Same model, same camouflage stocks, same stainless, same everything. So I taught him how to do that. And we did all the stuff that we do. We did all the stuff that we do. Everybody learned how to not only run ARs, but run AKs, which was new. We had some old people, some veterans. We had some veterans in the class. And then we had
veterans of Student of the Gun.
Student of the Gun, yeah.
Yep.
We had some Student of the Gun University veterans. And then we had actually one student who was brand new, who's never been to any Student of the Gun classes ever, but is a grad program member. Oh,
apparently those do exist.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the calendar and forecast out. We'll see if we can get a couple of more leadership seminars scheduled for the future. Probably either end of March or beginning of April.
For the future.
That's right. The future. All right, Zach, are we good? If we're golden, we're going to move right into Brownell's bullet points.
All right. Yep. Let's go ahead and
Zach says we're good.
That.
Boom. Yeah, Brownell's bullet points brought to you by Brownell's. Imagine that. It's crazy talk. And this is when I give you your warning order that very soon I'm going to have my good buddy Roy. I'm going to do basically an after action with Roy because they recently had the Not Show over at Brownells. Yes, they had the Not Show. And not Nacho. My brother said, he goes, every time I hear you say that, I hear Nacho. Not the Nacho, the Not Show. Uh-oh. As I'm speaking the words into this microphone right now, Winchester White Box 556 is in stock at Brownells for 83 cents a round. Go. This is when you say, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's in stock or not. There's no way I'm giving you 83 cents a shot for that. So not going to happen. All right, cool. So, we're going to have Roy. I'm going to bring him on, talk to him, and you guys will get to listen to our conversation very, very soon. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about, one of you guys last week had a question about little mini red dots and so forth. Mm-hmm. And I know you guys have been waiting for these. You remember, Jared, last year's SHOT Show when we went to the Sky booth and Sky had a contract with Crimson Trace to make those little mini, those baby red dots. And everyone's like, ooh, I want one. Mm-hmm. Where can I get one? And the answer
now you can.
You can't. 1 year ago, the answer was you can't buy a Sky pistol and get the red dot. Otherwise, you can't get them. Well, guess what? Crimson Trace Corporation has the CTS 1250 compact open reflex sight for pistols. It is $199, and it is listed as a brand new product. It is on brownells.com right friggin' now.
40,000 hours of battery life.
That's right. Only 40,000 hours.
Yep. With one MOA. And we've used these before. Yeah, I like them a lot.
Yep. So, ladies and germs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was actually looking at the wrong thing. It is 3.25 MOA. I was like 1 MOA. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah. That's the 1 MOA is the adjustment setting.
Yep. I didn't read the label.
So it used a 2032 lithium battery, which is basically one of them little watch battery dealios. Is it amazing to you, Jared, that we can put so much juice energy in a little freaking battery that's the size of a nickel?
Yeah, technology now has
40,000 hours of runtime out of a battery the size of a nickel.
It's awesome. Technology is awesome when it works. And as you guys noticed earlier, if you were listening live, when it doesn't work, it's not awesome.
Maybe you should change the batteries. Zach, did you change the batteries in the computer?
Yeah.
I'm about to change the entire computer in a minute here. With a hammer.
So, but seriously, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have been freaking out and you've been waiting for the Crimson Trace little mini red dot for pistols, they now are available for you. You don't even have to buy a gun to get it. Speaking of buying guns, what happened to our boys at Sky? Did they just like fall off the earth?
They were planning a release for a new pistol, I believe.
Oh, and then the Rona,
and I think that their production time was affected.
Yeah, then the Rona happened, and
because it was going to be a big launch. We were talking to him about partnering with the launch.
Yeah, it's going to be a Bravo Foxtrot Delta. Yes, it was going to be a Bravo Foxtrot Delta, but now it's not. So, remember, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to tell you, I was super proud of everyone who showed up here this weekend. Do you know why, Jared?
Why?
Because they all listened. They all listened. I asked them, I said, how are you guys doing on ammo? And they're all like, we're good. Because we listened to you last year and made sure that we had everything we needed.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, that's ammo-wise. Remember when I came to you guys about a month ago and we were talking about Brownell stuff, and I said, well, let's look and see what's in stock. And from Magpul. And it was like, oh, all the PMags. And Brownells never put them, never raised the prices, never tried to can I say rape? They never tried to rape you like other people do. There are some online dealers that really should be ashamed of themselves. And they're like, hey, that's a market, and that's the market. Yeah, I get it's the market. But when you mark something up like 2,000%, that's not the market. You didn't pay 2,000% for that. You paid $10 for it, and now you're trying to sell it for $99. Okay? Brownells did not do that. At this moment in time, Gen 3, which are the best, the newest, Gen 3 PMags for AR-15s are $14. All right? This is what I'm going to tell you. The communists in Washington, D.C. are out of control. The totalitarian state is out of control. And in case you missed it, they just put forth a massive draconian gun control, gun confiscation, gun registration bill. This bill has confiscation, registration, and control and restrictions in it. And what's going to happen, right now, most of the country is still not paying attention. But if this thing gets out of committee, everyone's going to lose their minds because it's another assault weapons bill on roids. It's going to make certain things, they want to make certain guns and ammunition just straight up illegal, right? They want to take, they're going to do the ex post facto. They're going to throw the ex post facto clause of the Constitution in the garbage. I'm telling you, today, the day after Groundhog Day, all right, or Groundhog Day, depending on when you're listening, I'm telling you that if this bill gets to the floor, all of your friends and neighbors are going to lose their crap, and they're going to flock. They're going to go online, and they're going to buy up all the mags. You should have everything you need now, but maybe you've been holding out. Maybe you've got a blankety blank that you probably could use a few magazines for. Go right now to your gun locker. Look at your guns, open your gun safe, look at your guns and say, do I have at least minimum 6 magazines for my whatever? If you have a self-loading magazine-fed rifle and you don't have at least 6 good, I don't mean some piece of crap that you've had for 20 years and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I mean 6 spot on, no kidding, works all the time magazines for that rifle. Fix yourself. I'm not joking. Because today, all right, right now, today, Magpul PMags are out of stock. Crap.
Yep.
It's starting. These weren't out of stock last week. They're out of stock now. It's starting. If you can get the Gen 3s, get the Gen 3s. The Gen 3 mags from Magpul, whether it's an AK mag or an AR mag, is what you want to get. The other ones work. The Gen 3s are just a little bit better. Same goes for Glocks. If you have a pistol and you don't have at least 3, I would say 6. Let's quit farting around. 6 magazines for your pistol. You got a G17, G19, you got a Canic, you got a whatever. I'm not farting around here, kids. You know, I had a conversation with my bros. Oh, there's a magazine company that starts with a P, and it has an R and an O behind it, and then it has another 3 letters called MAG. Avoid that like the plague. Avoid it like the plague. You're like, come on, Paul. I found these Papa Romeo Oscar mags, and they seemed really inexpensive, so I bought a bunch of them. Don't do it. Don't do it. Here's where you want to go. The number 1 magazines are the factory mags. If it comes from the company that makes the gun, thumbs up. Smith & Wesson mags for Smith & Wesson guns. Glock mags for Glock guns, Canik mags for Canik guns, so on and so forth, right? Aftermarket magazines, the number one most trusted mag maker is Magpul. And then there are a few others, but I'm telling you what, Papa Romeo Oscar, my whole adult life has been garbage. And I don't think they've gotten any better since then. You're like, well, why are they still in business? You know why, Jared? Why are they still in business?
Because there's a lot of new gun owners.
Because first-time gun buyers are like, oh, I'm not spending all that money for that one over there. I'll buy this one right here because it's, like, cheaper. Then they're like, this gun is crap. It doesn't work. I put a $9 magazine in my AK, and it doesn't work. Maybe it's because you put a $9 mag in it. I don't know. That's not it. I put a $9 mag in my pistol, and no, it doesn't work. Stupid pistol. Nobody ever says this stupid magazine. They're like, your gun doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Well, I went and I got these. Oh, and bless their hearts for trying. The Korean mags are either okay or crap, and there's no in between. This is me. This is 35 years of experience talking to you. So either, Glock people and Glock carbine people. How many of you guys have a 9mm carbine that feeds with Glock mags? They've got the 33 rounders in stock right now for $39. Those will be $100 if this bill gets to the House. If this bill gets to the House, they will jump up to $99 overnight. So this is when, write it down. Boys, write this down. This is when Paul tells you, if you want it, you better freaking get it. And I don't want to hear any whining or complaining in a month when you're like, I can't find any P-Mags. I can't find any Glock mags. They're all gone. What happened to them? There you go. You're welcome. This is me doing you a service. All right, freaks and freakettes. Duracoat, because life is
too short to have an ugly gun.
That's right. Life is too short to have a freaking ugly gun. I don't want to have one. You don't want to have one. And if you go to brownells.com and it says they're out of stock, click the notify me button. And the millisecond that they're in stock and on the shelves, you'll get an email. Boom. Telling you that they're... you know what they should have? They should have a buy now button. They should have a buy now button. So the millisecond they're back in stock, you hit one button, bam, it puts in your cart, and it's on its way. Yeah. Or if you could set up a, what did we use? A layaway program where you put a deposit down. You're like, are we in that? Are we there? Is that where we're at now? Kinda. All right. So, but check those guys out at Brownells. They're good people. I'm sorry. Brownells too, but Duracoat, they're good people. Family-owned business. Go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com. There is no excuse for you to have an ugly gun. None whatsoever. Hey, you know what I didn't take this weekend? I kind of forgot about.
What's that?
SWAT fuel.
Oh, no.
It was good to go. I took SWAT fuel actually the last time I worked out because I had a long day, and I knew it was going to be a long day. The 9mm plus P. It's energy formula, but it's not that crazy shaking like I feel like I'm having a heart attack energy. That crap that you buy at the discount drugstore or whatever, you take it and then your skin gets all red and you feel like you're going to have a heart attack. No. Mm-hmm. SWAT fuel, it's so subtle that you just do and do and do and do. You do work and then you do work and you do work and you're cleaning the house and you're vacuuming and you're doing all that stuff. And you're like, damn, where'd I get all this energy? And then you remember, oh, yeah, that's right. But you're not shaking. You're not feeling like you have a heart attack. It's not like, people tell me, they're like, oh, I can, I can't tolerate that. And I was like, why can't you tolerate it? Oh, I've taken that stuff before and it makes me feel my blood pressure shoot up. That's not SWAT fuel. But they do have the 9mm plus P in stock. Use the code SOTG. Save yourself some money. Be a happy camper. All right. It's Wednesday and Zach has something to say.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that, plus the pimp hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want: education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out ShopSOTG.com today and see for yourself.
.com. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Do that. ShopSOTG.com. Get everything you need. Get everything you need. And I can tell you.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I can tell you that the signed, author-signed copies of the Patriot Fire Team Equipment Guide are back in stock.
Which that's what I was going to say. So perfect.
Oh, well, there you go. They just arrived.
That's funny.
They
Great minds and all that.
Arrived. Yes, indeed. They just arrived. All right. So let's go ahead and dive right into our Student of the Gun homeroom, which is brought to you by crossbreedholsters.com. You like that? Bam! What is that song? What is that music? Remind the audience.
That was Madison's Rising's Dangerous on Demand.
Well, it's not. The title isn't On Demand. It's just Dangerous.
Dangerous. The segment of the show is teaching you how to be, or it's maybe not teaching, but it's delivering information on how to be dangerous on demand, which could be included, which could be teaching.
That's right. It could be teaching. It could be being dangerous on demand. I just fired off a message to our mutual friend from the Firearms Radio Network telling them that we'd be a little bit late so we can give everybody everything they need. All right, let's talk about training. You're like, I can't train. I'm not going to train because ammo's too expensive and I can't find it. Pump the brakes. Ammo's too expensive is one story, and I can't find it is a different story. I just went to, they don't sponsor us. Should I say their name? They don't sponsor us.
No.
Find ammo.
No, you say
.com.
If they're in our community, yes, absolutely.
All right. So I just went to ammoseek.com.
I don't know who that is.
And I've typed in 9mm, and it tells you where it's in stock and where you can get it and how much it is per round. So I went to the top for 9mm. The top response is Palmetto State Armory, and it's Tula brand ammo, and it is 62 cents a shot. All right, then
this is a pretty cool website.
Guess who is on this? And they're so big now that they're actually listed. Fin, Feather, and Fur Outfitters.
Oh, wow. I thought that was like a regional thing.
Yeah. Fin, Feather, and Fur. When I was young, that's actually where I bought the handgun that I used to go to the police academy. When they were in their original white cinder block building off of State Highway, whatever the part, Nugan. Like 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. They're so big now that they're actually listed on AmmoSeek. And they're number 3. They've got Tula in stock. Top Gun Ammo has Red Army Standard for 67 cents a shot. Yada, yada, yada. A lot of places I never heard of before. And you say, okay, Paul, I get it. What's your point? Well, my point is this. There is ammunition out there. Now, you're thinking, I don't want to spend that. I know. I understand you don't want to spend that. But here's the reality of the situation. Not training is not the answer. Failure to train is not the answer. This is when you have to say, what's more important? Is it more important for me to go out with my buddies on the weekend to the gravel pits or strip mine or out in the woods behind the cabin up north and throw out a bunch of milk jugs and stand there and blast away at them? Is that more important, or is it more important for me to get my butt into an actual training class? What's more valuable? What's going to be more valuable to me in the long run? and ladies and gentlemen, it's a rhetorical question. I asked someone just the other day, someone told me that they bought, that they've had 22 rifles and shotguns all their whole life, but they just bought their first handgun. And I said, okay, great. I said, how much training do you have? And the person replied to me and my friends go to our cabin up north and we shoot. And I've shot their guns. You and your friends going out to the woods to shoot at old junk cars is not training. Oh no, we train. We shoot at stuff. Okay, that's not training. It's either practice, but let's face facts. If you've never taken any training, Jared, if you've never taken any training, how do you practice?
Well, you practice what you know, and
just pointing it out in front of you and making noise.
Which may or may not be anything substantial. And so if you want to continue to exist at the same level that you already have mastered, then you don't need training. But if you actually want to improve and you're addicted to self-improvement, then
operating
you
at
get
existing
training.
level.
Yep.
Wherever you heard that before. Yeah. So
Colonel Boyd, it's like he knew what he was talking about.
Almost is crazy. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's the hard fact, the hard, genuine reality. There is ammunition out there that you can buy. It's not at the price that you want to pay, and I'm sorry for that, but it's there. Now, maybe you're sitting on, I don't know, 500, 800, 1,000 rounds of 9mm. Take some of that ammo and go to a training class. Go to an actual legitimate training class where every round you fire is going to be an investment. When you go to a training class, every round you fire is an investment in you. It's not an investment in me. It's not an investment in Jared or Zach. We already know. I've already, it's like my buddy Matt said, I've already put in my 10,000 hours. I put my 10,000 hours in. Oh, and it's up to you to put your 10,000 hours in. So there is ammunition out there, and you should train because you're not going to rise to the occasion. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a fallacy. That is a myth. That is a fallacy that's put out by C students. C students who are like, well, I'm good enough. I know what I'm doing. I'm a smart guy. How hard could it be? I don't know. When's the last time you were in a life or death situation? When's the last time you engaged in a situation where if you failed, you would die? Okay. Because that's exactly what fighting for your life with a handgun is. If you fail, you die. Or somebody else dies. Somebody else that you care about dies. So it's kind of an important thing. Yep. I know you're like, oh, come on, Paul. Wave your magic wand and make things okay again. Sorry, I can't do that. But the whole point of the Student of the Gun homeroom from Crossbreed is learning how to be dangerous on demand. And if you just bought a gun and now you have a gun and you're just super happy to own a gun, great. But you are not dangerous on demand. Well, you might be dangerous to yourself. Get your butt into a real serious training course. And then after you do that, then carry the thing on your body all the time. And if you want to carry that thing on your body in a quality holster, go to crossbreedholsters.com. They'll take care of you. They're good people. Use the promotional code SOTG18. You will be a happy camper. You'll get a good holster at a good price, and it's a quality piece of gear that you can be proud of and proud to wear. How's that sound?
Sound like a plan.
All right, let's jump over to we were going to get to this on Monday, and we ran out of time. Anti-Trump scholar. So that's actually is that a thing now? So what kind of
scholar who is anti-Trump?
I'm an anti-Trump scholar. Yeah. I wrote my doctoral thesis on being anti-Trump.
You notice that they always try to dress up these people as nicely as they can. Put a little bow tie on them, polish them up real quick.
Which kind of people?
This anti-Trump person is a scholar, so you know that what they have to say is smart.
Yeah. All right. This is from Breitbart.com, and it's from January 26th, 2020. All right. And this is a continuing theme for those of you that believe that it's just, well, I don't know. Go ahead.
We've talked about plenty of these. Zach, there's a video about halfway down the article, quarter of the way down the article that you could play, but I'll read some of it. It says here, and this was on January 26, 2021, anti-Trump scholar it says it is nearly impossible to deprogram millions of Trump supporters. On Monday, the Washington Post published an op-ed by columnist Brian Klaas, whereby he expressed the near futility of attempting to deprogram millions of Trump supporters, claiming that they have, quote, gone far enough down the rabbit hole of conspiratorial thinking, end quote. The essay is titled, "Why is it so hard to deprogram Trumpian conspiracy theorists?" And it depicts millions of Trump supporters as so devoted to dangerous lunacy.
That's a quote from the article. Dangerous lunacy.
Dangerous lunacy that nearly all hope is lost, bringing them, quote, back to reality, end quote. Referring to President Trump as a conspiracy theorist in chief who, quote, injected the toxin of baseless conspiratorial thinking straight into Americans' political bloodstream, end quote. The essay claims that while only hundreds stormed the Capitol, quote, there are millions of Americans who share their views, end quote.
All right, can we stop right there? I don't know about you, but I am so sick to my stomach of this whole stormed the Capitol Capitol riots. So registered Democrats can literally, not figuratively, they can literally burn police cars, burn buildings to the ground, cause millions, hundreds of millions of damage because they're angry. Right? About systemic racism. So if you're angry about systemic racism, you can burn a city to the ground, ruin people's lives, cause millions of dollars of damage, and the Washington Post has no problem with that. Matter of fact, they will make excuses for you. They will call you mostly peaceful protesters.
You know what the thing that's upset me the most about the whole situation is?
Go ahead.
The people that I would consider relatively smart, or people who you think wouldn't think like this, but like have that brought up to them. It's like, do you blah blah blah, the whole them burning down the freaking half the country thing is like, well, you don't understand. They're really upset. It's like, okay, being mad means it's fine.
If you're really upset,
yeah,
it's okay to burn the city down, smash the windows out of police cars and set them on fire. That's okay if you're upset. If I'm upset, I'm a lunatic.
Yeah.
I'm a crazy kook.
Yeah.
Jared, have we not been documenting election fraud, provable, documented election fraud for years?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So in Georgia, when they send all the poll watchers away, and then they go under the tables and pull out suitcases full of pristine ballots and run them in the middle of the night when no one's watching, that's a conspiracy. We know this happened. It's a documented fact.
Whatever happened to most of these? Was it just, oh, you're crazy, shut up? What was that the reasoning, excuse, and evidence they gave to why that was false?
No, the media they've all agreed to ignore it. They're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, on social media, they take it down, or they cover it up, or they say it's out of context. So we know for a fact, because they got caught in Michigan changing Trump votes to Biden votes. It's a documented fact. It's undisputable. Well, it's just one incident. It's not that big of a deal. What? We know for a fact that they manufactured mail-in ballots in New York State, trucked them into Pennsylvania, and dropped them off in Philadelphia. We know this. It's a documented fact. A semi-truck load of pristine mail-in ballots, absentee ballots. Why would ballots go from New York State? Jared, can 100,000 people in New York State vote in Philadelphia? Is that how that works now?
Oh, yeah. I don't see why not. Well,
that's
you can't keep them from voting. And
you're just want voter disenfranchisement. We know that the leftists got courts to overturn voter ID requirements. Why? Someone explain to me on the left what you hope to accomplish by overturning voter ID requirements. Why wouldn't you want people who are voting for the president of the United States to establish that they're a legal citizen and that they're eligible to vote? Why wouldn't you want that? Is it because poor people can't get...
We're going down a rabbit hole that's kind of related, but not really. It's a different topic. So I'm going to continue with the story. It says, quote here, this is a quote from class that's kind of concerning. It says, modern conspiracy movements such as QAnon are thriving in church groups and yoga classes. They're social, and that means that deprogramming is that much harder. So we should just stop church groups and yoga classes from meeting. Oh, wait, we did that.
Yeah.
Today, with the rise of social, this is another quote from class. He says, today, with the rise of social media, one can be alone but feel part of a group, and some of those groups are glued together by unhinged beliefs.
Okay, hang on.
The essay, then this end quote.
Go ahead. No, I was
just ending the quote.
With the rise of social media today,
yeah.
Like social media just got popular last month.
No, I mean he meant with social media becoming more popular, it has led to today one can be alone and feel part of the group.
Hey Zach, are you hearing Jared's audio going in and out?
Yes, but I didn't want to stop it.
Okay, yeah, Jared, your audio's going in and out.
I'll write it down.
It's freezing, and then it all of a sudden speeds up. Like you'll be talking, and your audio will freeze, and then it'll come back, and it'll go blah, blah, blah. Isn't technology grand? Zach, can you play the video from this story? There's an accompanying video from the Menstruation News Broadcasting Company.
Yes, I can. One moment. Let me finish writing this down.
All right, let's see what the people in the Menstruation News Broadcasting Company have to say.
Professor of Global Politics at University College, Brian Claus.
Oh my
he is
gosh.
Also columnist for the Washington Post and host of the Power Corrupts podcast. Brian, in your latest piece in the Washington Post, it's entitled, "Why is it so hard to deprogram Trumpian conspiracy theorists?" In it, you write in part this: today, with the rise of social media, one can be alone but feel part of a group, and some of those groups are glued together by unhinged beliefs. Many of the fanatics who stormed the Capitol were neither porn or social misfits, but rather had found a digital community to augment or replace their offline one. We can no longer pretend that conspiracy theorists are beneath our attention. They've shown they have tremendous capacity to inflict damage on society. Bringing the deluded people who populate Trump's political base back to reality will be difficult. But to find the right antidote, we need to at least accurately diagnose who has the poison. And that means acknowledging that those who sympathize with the Capitol insurrectionists are not far-off lunatics. Some, most likely, are your neighbors. And given the staying power of conspiratorial thinking, they aren't likely to change their minds anytime soon.
Wow.
I mean, this is a great piece. And it should really be read in tandem with Ann Applebaum's. And I completely agree with Ann. And it's always been,
Okay, so rather than call this guy out for the totalitarian crapbag that he is,
they didn't get to the part that I wanted to get to.
Oh, which part was that? Okay,
where he was talking about a coalition on reality.
Do you know the approximate time for that?
I am not sure off the top of my head.
Okay,
should we just play the rest of the video?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just thinking about time.
How long is it?
We got about another 3 minutes left.
Move people to your side over something, in the past it would have been, let's say, the Clinton impeachment or the 2000 recount or the Iraq war. Just wait long enough and find other areas to find compromise, to find common ground, and work together. In this case, though, you are right. You're talking about a set of deeply held conspiracy theories that these state parties, these state Republican parties are clinging to. I mean, you would think Arizona Republicans would have learned from Georgia Republicans, whose civil war made Chuck Schumer the Senate Majority Leader. They haven't. It doesn't. And Texas, my God, one of the most important states in the union politically, they've turned their party over to wingnuts, to crackpots, to conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big point here is that it's very, very difficult to deprogram conspiracy theory believers for a variety of cognitive reasons, and because it's also extremely social and some people are finding fun in it. But that doesn't let elected officials or state parties off the hook, right? We need a coalition of reality, a coalition of truth in our politics, because obviously there are people who are getting diluted messages, and those conspiracy theories stick. And they stick more than other forms of disinformation for a couple reasons. One is that conspiracy theories are most attractive to people who have a Manichaean worldview, which means they see the world through the prism of right and wrong. And so QAnon is all about Trump, the good superhero, vanquishing this evil, shadowy cabal. There's also the issue of the fact that the people who debunk conspiracy theories are, by their very definition, those who the conspiracy theorists think are the deep state. So if I write in the Washington Post that this is false, they view that as proof that there's a cover-up. And then the third reason, of course, is that the conspiracy theorists are also people who adapt their beliefs as new facts come into view. So when Biden was inaugurated, which wasn't supposed to happen under QAnon belief, some people started saying, oh, he's secretly in on the plan. It's unfalsifiable. It's like the doomsday cults that say, the world's going to end on October.
Okay. We can only go so long with this show, but here's what you guys need to understand. Jared, how long have we been reminding people about the dangers and the evils of totalitarianism?
Quite a while.
Okay. It was probably, I can't even imagine how long ago it's been, but one of the things that I've been mentioning when we talked about Anne Frank, we talked about Auschwitz, we talked about how important it was when I watched that documentary about Auschwitz and the documentary about Anne Frank and so forth, because Adolf Hitler did not just walk out one day. He didn't walk out on the balcony one morning and say, round up all the Jews. They're evil and they're subhuman. No. For years, the National Socialist German Workers' Party fed the idea that certain people in your culture were not really people. They weren't part of your culture. The Jews, the gypsies, whatever, labor unionists, anyone who was not willing to bow down to the state and worship the National Socialist German Workers' Party. If you weren't down with it, then you were on the outside. And they started marginalizing them. And they started, Jared, how many times have we talked about, the Turn In Your Neighbor program and how dangerous this is? How exceedingly dangerous that is. That goes back to every totalitarian state in the history of the world, whether it was the Soviet Union, whether it was the Germany through the 30s and 40s, whether you're talking about Cambodia or Vietnam or now Venezuela or wherever. Everywhere the totalitarians take power, they turn neighbor against neighbor. And when we see these programs being set up, and we just turn a blind eye to it, or like, oh, well, it's not right, but there's nothing I can do about it. For weeks now, they've been throwing out, and we've demonstrated time and time and time again. We've recorded it for history and for posterity. The plan, and I guess you cannot deny that this is a plan. And the orchestrated plan to send people out, whether it's MSNBC or what's that, NPR, or freaking that hag over at what's her face, the one who's like Katie Couric and so forth, and Bill Maher. We'll send them all out, and we'll use the word deprogram. And we'll establish that as a precedent. First of all, anyone who says that is dangerous. because deprogramming is straight out of the communist playbook. Every totalitarian state in the history of the world, that's what they do. When they gain power, their political enemies go to special camps. They get marginalized, they get marked, they get registered, they go into their names go into a book or a computer program. Every single totalitarian government has done this. They've taken their political enemies and they watch them, they marginalize them, and then eventually they send them they go away. So now we've allowed this guy to take this one step farther. So now he says, well, now that we've established the narrative that anybody who voted for Donald Trump and who could possibly believe that there was election tampering, you're a lunatic. Those people are they're crazy people. Remember, a couple, 3 weeks ago, we did the definition of gaslighting, Jared? Mm-hmm. And this falls right into what we've been talking about. How do you get an armed populace to willingly, without firing a shot, surrender their rights? 3 ways. Ignorance.
Distraction.
And what's the last one? Guilt. And we're on the G now. So this is the heavy, heavy, heavy guilt trip. If you go public and say you think that the Democrat Party cheated in the 2020 election, you're crazy. You're a dangerous lunatic. So what are we doing? Well, we want to make people feel guilty. We want to shame them into shutting up. Shame them into silence.
He said they need a coalition of reality in politics. I presume that his coalition, because a coalition of reality would actually be people together and having public debates to find the truth, not selecting which information is distributed because of what they believe to be true or not. So
that Morning Joe douchebag threw out the words common ground, work together. You mean like you guys, like the Democrats did from 2016 to 2019? How they agreed with the election of Donald Trump, they found common ground and worked together for the betterment of the nation? The entire time Donald Trump was in the White House, he had to fight against political insiders, against Washington insiders. Schumer and Pelosi et al. Were completely and totally hostile toward him the entire time he was in there. The mainstream news media was completely and totally hostile toward Donald Trump the entire time, from the time he announced his candidacy to the time and they still are. There was no common ground. There was no unity. There was no working together.
No, but you see, because he was wrong and they're right. But now you need to work with them because they're right.
Did you hear what this imbecile said? He goes, these people, they're these crazy people who view the world in the color, in the aspect of right and wrong, not like gray area. Yeah, like right and wrong. Like there actually is right and there actually is wrong. And you see, that's the psychotic evil and poison of liberalism. You see, in liberalism, there is no right and wrong. It's just what you want to do today. And if you want to do that today, then whatever you want is correct. Whatever you want is right. There's no hard right and hard wrong. There's no sin in the world. There's no evil in the world. It's just whatever you want to do. This guy and this demonization of anybody who questions the narrative of the state is crazy dangerous. It's crazy dangerous. And I don't have any more time to talk about it today, but you need to understand this is not a one-off. When Katie Couric goes on Bill Maher's show and talks about how we need to deprogram these crazy Trump people, anybody who says the word deprogramming, you need to understand this. They are a direct enemy of a republic. They are a direct enemy of you. Deprogramming is straight out of the communist playbook. They did it in Vietnam. They did it in the Soviet Union. Every totalitarian state has attempted to deprogram its political enemies. Just by saying this, they're marking you as your enemy. Can you imagine if in 2017 Donald Trump would have said, okay, now I'm in charge, I'm the boss, and all these people who voted for Hillary are dangerous lunatics, and we need to set up a government program to get their heads right. We need to spend tax money and create a system to deprogram Hillary supporters. They would have been rending their garments and screaming, those crazy lunatics screaming at the sky. Can you imagine? But why is it that they can say that and it's okay and the media has no problem with it? Think about that. Let that digest for a second. All right, we got to get going. We've got a whole bunch of special interviews lined up for you guys in the very near future, so you can look forward to that. I'm actually going to have I think he's a VP he's one of the head muckety mucks from Magpul. I'm going to get him on and talk about what's new from that company, what they've got to release for 2021. We got Roy Hill from Brownells going to talk to us about what's going on in the industry. So a lot of good stuff coming up. And if you want a lot of good stuff, like all the good stuff, well, you should be part of the grad program. And Jared's going to tell you how you can do that.
Super, super easy. We made it easy for you. Go to getsotg.com, follow the instructions there, and we will see you in the grad program tomorrow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.